Hi guys, it's Anime Hype back at NDK again. We're here with Carrie Keranen. She's got an impressive resume to her credit. Includes Caska in Berserk, Mami in Magi, Madoka Magica, tons of others. So, let's get started.
Let's get started!
I'm a huge Madoka fan, so that's what most of my questions are.
Okay, fantastic. I'm a huge Madoka fan as well.
Awesome.
We actually were just talking about it in the green room.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were talking about it related to the Joseph Campbell mythologies and.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
There's so much to it. There's
There
so
really
much
is.
like symbolism that people
Yeah.
just can get in there from multiple points of view.
It's a mile deep.
Yeah, right?
So one of my questions for the movie that they just released.
Rebellion.
Yes, Rebellion. Were you surprised to come back for that? Like, did you think you
Oh
would
my
be in
gosh.
it?
Yeah, you know what? It really surprised me that they were even making it because I thought, the way the series ends, you sort of think like, of all the series, it didn't really leave that many things untied. There are other series that sort of like leave things a lot more open that you would think, the journey continues. So when I even heard about it, I was like, what? But then the other girls were able to go to the premiere of the original Japanese in LA.
Oh, yeah.
And I wasn't able to attend that night because I was working. So I didn't know what happened, but I just knew something major happened.
Yeah.
But everyone was on a gag order. No one was allowed to talk about it around me or at conventions. Like at panels, they'd be like, "We're not allowed to talk about Rebellion. Carrie hasn't seen it." Or I'd have to plug my ears and be like, "Blah blah blah." They're talking about Rebellion. And when I first finally sat down to see it, it starts off and I'm like.
What is,
I literally was like, did I miss something at the end of the second movie? What is going on?
Yeah. Especially when it gets to the cake song. And you're just
and I was like, what is this? Like, what? And that was like the bait. I was like, we have to record that. And Christina V actually did a lot of the translating for that particular song. Yeah, she helped out. Alex was like very, very grateful for her.
Was that a difficult one to parse out for you guys? Because it's so...
everyone else in the cast is musically inclined.
Well, but
I'm the one who was I was like, can we get a stunt singer? Like, what is happening right now? Can you mix this?
In terms of like the cadence and it's bizarre in universe.
Everything about it
was that
weird.
a challenge to approach it from like, I have no idea what this is.
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't know what's happening. Well, thank goodness by the time I recorded it, I'd already finally at least seen Rebellion. Uh-huh. But even still, it's just so weird and doesn't make any sense. But I mean, really, that's Christina V. That's really to her credit because she was really the one who put it together. Like Alex had laid out, like an outline of it and whatnot, but she really went in there and tweaked it and laid down a scratch track for all of us. To listen to her doing it. Yeah. And so that was really, that song came together really for the love of Christina V. She was the one. But so when I finally watched it, of course you get to that moment and you're like, oh my God! And I was watching with a friend of mine who actually didn't know the series. I gave him a general, this is what happened, whatever. And then it starts, I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't really know what's going on. I apologize. I don't have any answers. This is not, I don't understand. So, but even he was really, even just watching just Rebellion, by the time you get to that, he was already really invested. You know what I mean? So you go oh, that's definitely good storytelling, right? Yeah. But I think part of the reason most people, especially Christine Marie Cabanos, who I've become very, very close friends with, she'd be like, have you seen it yet? Because people would always ask what character would you want to play if it wasn't yours? And I would always talk about Homura. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, can you imagine? Can you imagine waking up every single day and you want one thing, the most important thing in your life, and you fail at it every day. Every day you wake up and fail. I was like, I couldn't believe it. That would be crazy. I used to talk about this all the time. Everyone's like, have you seen Rebellion yet?
Guess what happened?
I know. I was like, oh my God! Now I know why you guys are asking me. But I thought it was amazing. And then I actually got to be in the. Christine was finishing right before I was going in, so I got to sit in on the end of. Had gone a little bit over. Yeah. So I got to sit in at the very end of her recording. So I watched her record the final scene in the hallway with Homura, where she's like, I feel like.
In the school?
In the school, yeah, where she's I don't know, I feel like
and
then she to come back and then the whole universe starts to unfold around her, and then Homer's like, no, hi, here, and ties the little. I was like, oh, it's so hard. For we had she had to stop a couple of times. We were all getting teary eyed. That they were like, oh no, and then of course that I like to call the Great Rebellion debate. Sarah Ann Williams and I got into a huge debate at Anime at Los Angeles earlier this year about Homona's intentions.
Yeah.
You know, and she was like, well, she was being selfless. She was trying to save Madoka because Kyubey was looking for it. And I was like, no! I was like, no way! Absolutely not! Like, she did it for herself. She's like, I don't want to lose it. I want you back. I was like, it was totally selfish. So, like, we got in a huge debate. The whole audience started getting it. Like, well, in episode 7, she said blah, blah, blah. Like, everyone's like, bringing it up. And we got the whole room got this huge debate. People are coming in from the hallway. And, you know, everyone films everything. Like, every panel, you're like, I think your color is pink. Like, that's on the internet. Nobody filmed this. Nobody filmed it.
Wow.
Everyone was like so like
was
involved.
into it?
Literally, Christine picked up the microphone and goes, Jerry, because we were getting like really heated. Like the whole room was like, it was like Homina versus Mami. You know?
It's Madoka. I mean, you can't not get invested in it.
Right.
When we saw the Alamo Drafthouse played it, they ran only one screening of it, so it was packed, and you know the whole house was just like, I just watched.
I know, right?
You know,
people yelled out apparently in the screening in LA.
Well, Alamo has strict rules about not talking during movies, so there was an embargo on that. But you could hear people were like, you know,
right?
Like, what is going? It's like, what? No. And afterward, everybody outside was like, what did we just watch?
I know, right? And then now you're like, well, now they're making a 4th movie, right? Called Mommy's Revenge, right? I mean, that's the return of Sayaka. Like what is, you know? Yeah, it's nuts. It's so, but it's also like it's so amazing to be able to be a part of a project that like is talking about these ideas, you know? Because I was just that's what we're talking about in the green room is that, you know, there's like Madoka's journey is a hero's journey, you know, like it's like practically textbook, you know, like Joseph Campbell, and you so rarely see young girl characters going through that in anime, you know what I mean? You see a lot of young boy characters that are like doing that and trying to figure out whatever. And so it was actually, when I went in to record it, I was like, oh, it's a magical girl show. And you first come in and you think with that, you know, but then you come in and you see the like art. You know, and you're like, this is different. And you're hearing the soundscape, and you're going, okay, something's different, right? And then when my character dies... Did you know about
that before you
I didn't know
that
anything.
Scene?
I actually replaced someone. I don't know who it was.
Okay.
So I jumped
you just went in blind?
I did. I went in blind because I was there for something else. They were like, hey, can you do a real quick in-studio audition after your session today? And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. So I went in... And like this is also I think that was the first time that I met like Hiroe from Aniplex and Alex. So Hiroe and Alex were there, you know, and I'd worked with Alex like one other time. And I went in and they were just kind of showing me her, and I remembered auditioning for the show. I was like, oh, I kind of remember this back when it first auditioned like months ago. And so I did the audition and whatnot, and I left, and by the time I got home they were like, hey, you have the job, can you start recording tomorrow? So I didn't have any time, and I came in and I just started recording, and because I came in so late to the process, I literally recorded everything in like 3 days. I had to finish by the end of the week because they were going to mix it. Like so everything was like that fast. So I didn't know anything. I come in that day and I'm already scheduled for another session, right? So I walk in and I was like, hey, Carrie, how's it going? I'm like, why is everyone being so weird? You know, and I get in there, and there's actually you don't see the moment, right? You see the moment before, and then cut to Homura,
you see a little bit of it.
She has like
to shock you.
Just enough to be like, you know, but just still like enough distance and stuff. Well, and then you cut to Homura and like her ribbons untie, and I was like,
well, when there's that moment that's just long enough of, oh my God, is that really happening?
Right, and that's exactly how I felt in the booth. You know, when you record it and you don't know what's coming, like I feel like at my experience recording it is the same experience as fans watching it. Because it's literally unfolding for me in the same way it's unfolding for you.
When you come back in episode 10, how much of a shock was that?
I know, that's why I was so confused in that episode. I was like, but I'm scheduled to come back tomorrow. Like, what? I don't understand. Like, what is going on? And then it just gets even weirder and weirder, you know. But again, like the show is like it's so packed with in terms of the things that it's tracking, all the like 4 characters really, maybe 5. You can't keep it. As a character, you're not really tracking, you're really discovering, but in such like way, like, but they really do give like time to everyone and to really explore like how they would be emotionally and psychologically, and you kind of go like, oh my god, this thing is. It's only like, what, 12, 13 episodes? Like, it's,
Yeah, and it's such a brilliant breakdown of magical girl, series and tropes in general. Because, you think about it, because they're all the same. They're all like 12, 14-year-old girls in these situations. Then you think like, oh, what would a real 12-year-old girl be? Right. It's like, it would be terrible.
It would be terrible. It would be terrible. And you've got like a character, she's super lonely. But she was like, you're like, oh, you can die right now or be a magical girl. Like, okay, I guess I'll be a magical girl.
Yeah.
And like, they just, it's so.
Like, just make a wish and I'll make you a magical girl.
Right, exactly.
Don't think it through too much. Just do it.
Yeah, right, and the consequence and what that means, and but I think it is like, especially when you are younger. I mean, even now as like adults, right? You still go like, what am I doing with my life? And what choices have I made? You know what I mean? Like you don't understand what forever means.
Yeah.
And you don't really understand that there's like no going back, and for that, and I think that especially like when I was in high school, everyone's like, or middle school and high school, everyone's like, what do you want to do with your life? You're like, what? What do I do with my life? Oh, God, well, how much time do I have to figure that out? Do I have to make a choice right now forever? Like, and you haven't like really had to, you're just starting to explore yourself and the world, and it's such a tumultuous time, you know?
And the incubators count on that.
Exactly. You kind of go like,
evil.
But they're also really smart.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You kind of go like, well, not too shabby, not too shabby on that one. But that's why, to go back to Rebellion, like that last moment, Jubei's like scared.
The very, that little.
Right, that fine. I actually felt bad for him in that moment. I was like, what am I doing feeling bad for this man? Like, I was like, oh, poor Kyubei. I don't know which is worse, Homeru's universe or Kyubei's universe.
Or the fact that she was able to find something to scare an emotionless creature.
Exactly. And you go like, well, things are probably really messed up if that happens, right?
I know.
Is really Homer's universe going to be that much better? Let's see.
For me, it wasn't pity so much. It was just, it was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Where do you have to go to scare a Kyubei?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And like, and
she is bad.
Exactly. I can't help everyone. I think the thing about Madoka is because there is so much symbolism. It's so easy to read like your own, to read your own, like to find, to pull out the thing that really connects to you, right? So I think the thing that's hardest for me in Rebellion, not just the moment she rips her from her godhead, which is pretty awful, but it is that last moment when Madoka's like, wait a minute, and then gets pulled back, and I sort of think like, ooh, don't we all like have the power of the universe inside of us? Don't we all hold the entirety of the universe inside our individual experience? But maybe we're not aware of it. Maybe we're not like really living up to that. Maybe we put limitations on ourselves, and I think that like that ended up being the thing that was like that I took away personally. I'm kind of a deeply spiritual person, so there is always this idea like, oh, what are the beliefs and limitations that we put on ourselves that stop us from fully realizing our potentials? You know, being trapped. Like, where am I trapped in Homer's world? Like, you know what I mean?
What is she assigned for me?
Right, exactly. But it's like me. Like, I'm also the Homer assigning the thing. In our own experience, in our own lives, like we're the people in our own heads telling us like, no, that's a dumb idea, don't do it, or like, oh, you're not good enough for that, or whatever.
And then you realize I just broke my brain.
Exactly right.
You got anything you want to add, or anything about any other roles?
That was the first question. It's going to be a long one, guys. Strap in.
So I don't dominate this interview today.
You have a just big and excellent range as far as the various characters you put voices to, and it's just like really, really surprising because it's like everybody, when we heard your name, like, oh, well, I remember her from this, or I remember from that. It's like, she honestly did that? This is like really cool. We're just like figuring, I was like, holy crap. So I've asked this with other voice actors, and since you had such an excellent range, when it comes to either voicing a role, doing kind of like interviews or doing any kind of like kind of testings, is there like a particular role that you like better? Like you have like a lot of serious roles with like Caska, and then all the way down to like Luna Luna from Queen's Blade. So it's like, when I saw that, I was like, oh my goodness,
So fun! Oh my gosh!
Like,
And that was also like such a quick record.
Yeah.
Sometimes I forget, like, oh, that's right. It's so interesting. I feel like some version of this question gets asked a lot in terms of like, and I guess I sort of interpret it most as like, what's my relationship with the various characters, and like, do I have stronger relationships with some or whatnot. And I think that, first of all, thank you for saying that I have range, because I'm like, I feel like I'm just only ever being myself. But because there are some people who are just incredible in terms of their ability to like manipulate their voice into literally all these different soundscapes, and I feel like that's not exactly my. I can act, I can act my way out of anything, but like I can't sound my way out of anything. But I think that for me, I think it's just that I've been doing it long enough that I've really watched like myself grow as a person, and the roles that I've played really reflect that, and also sort of teach me things about myself. And so I think that, because again, I'm very into like, what is our journey and personal growth and self-development and stuff. I think that the roles that stand out for me are less about the roles themselves and more about like what that role represented to me or the time in my life that I did that role. And I find that those tend to be the ones that just end up kind of closer to my heart, times that I've like really changed. Like, for example, like Caska, of course, she was my first. Like, she was the first. And, I had seen anime shows before, not knowing that they were part of a genre called anime. You know what I mean? I saw Cowboy Bebop. I didn't know that it was part of something else,
Yeah.
So, she was my first, like, real, like, oh, this is a whole storytelling, and, like, American cartoons don't tell stories like that, and I was like, what is this? So she's really special to me in the sense that, like, she was my first, and the relationships that came out of that, like, I'm still very, very close friends with Guts and with Michael Cinder Nicholas. I eventually started running his company, like, fast forward 5 years later, I'd be, like, running his company, so it's like that role, and when you hear yourself in it, when you hear something, you immediately kind of remember, like, the snapshot of your life at the time you recorded it. So there's, and of course, like, Mokuba was my first boy lead, so that was also, like, really terrifying and special, and stepping into, especially when you step into like a legacy show like that, you're like, there's a lot of pressure on the table to like deliver, and so I feel like the characters that stick out for me, if I have to just like kind of pluck them out of the last 10 years, are kinds of those characters. Mami was really special in the sense that like she was really my first like mentor character.
Okay.
Real mentor character. And ever since playing her, I've been playing a lot more. It kind of opened up this whole new realm of women that I've been playing a lot lately. Yeah. But before her, I didn't really play that. I was still like scrappy, like, like for Tekken, you know what I mean? And not that I don't still do that, but less so. Like there's like maybe I've matured, but like there's like a maturity that's happened. So I'm now playing these characters that have a little bit more scope. Instead of being the girl, trying to figure things out, I'm the person being like, hey, listen, it's gonna be cool. Just relax. It's gonna be fine. You're gonna figure it out. I know it's tough. I just booked another role that like is again in that kind of vein. She's sort of the mentor to the character who's struggling, and I think that it's so nice to feel like I've arrived at a place in my life where I can do that. I can kind of give that back. Yeah. So I feel like that's how the roles sort of like connect to me, because of course like you love everyone you get to do because they're all like awesome and fun, and I really love that I'm able to work across multiple genres, like do things that are really serious and then things that are like really wacky, because I feel like I have both those personalities inside of me, so I'm like, oh, am I getting kicked out?
We have time for one more question.
Oh my gosh, I only made 2 questions. This is the worst interview ever. All right, what is it? Who's got the?
Let's see. Do you, of all the characters that you have played or that you've done but that haven't been announced yet, do you have one in particular that kind of is like the closest to you, that you feel the closest to?
Oh my gosh, there is the character still, to this day, I have never found a character that is more, I literally walked into this audition, picked up the page, saw her picture, read her description, I was like, oh, I got this. Like, no doubt. They called me to book me on it. They were like, I was like, of course. I was like, oh. That's like a rude thing to say, right? I was like, I'm so excited. But, and like so few people even know the show. It wasn't even that popular show, but it was Kumiko in Gokusen. which because she's a I come from a lot of educators in my family, and I've also like taught a lot, and I've been teaching yoga for like 10 years and stuff. So she was a teacher, and to these like wrangly boys, and like all my work is about equality with men and like women in a world of men. So I was like, oh my gosh, it's me and then a team and like a class full of boys that I'm trying to. And she's like, all right, it's fine. But then we'll be like a total goofball, just like totally overreact to like goofball, like I don't know what to do in this situation. But then also like, but when it comes time to like fight or like to stand up for what she believes in, she's like total badass. So And I was like, oh my gosh, I've never met a character that was more like who I really am in the world. So and it's I'm like, oh, I wish more people knew that show, because she is definitely like I easily startled, hides under the desk, you know what I mean? You're like, that's not an effective solution.
Yeah.
And yet other times has like super like comes out with wisdom that you wouldn't expect.
All right.
That's
awesome. Well, thank you so much for spending your time with us.
For like a quarter of an interview. Right. She's like, asked 12 questions. Like,
oh, no,
3.
I just jot down ideas.
Thank you for having me. It was so nice to meet you.
Thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you so much.